Is back with us, and because he's here for commercial breaks, he now knows all our secrets. So if you could just keep those to yourself, Carlos, that would be great. I'm just kidding.
No, you don't have to. We believe we're the best dressed on television, definitely morning television.
Yeah,
and then
you just added to
He's
that.
adding to that
great.
quite a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, he don't need to be encouraged.
Oh, okay.
Oh, dress up. Oh, wait, I'm dressed up.
Hey, Carlos, someone needs to talk to the Cavaliers about time management. Took them 2 weeks and 7 games to beat the Pacers in round 1. They didn't turn around in round 2 and sweep the Raptors in a week. Hello, time management. LeBron with 29 points, 2 rebounds shy of the triple-double. Last night, Carlos, what did sweeping the Raptors show you about this Cavaliers team?
That they got the Toronto Raptors number.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if it's psychologically, obviously, physically, they were very good this regular season. They had the second best record in the NBA. We all documented all of that. A lot of people thought they were the favorite even coming into this, even though the Cavaliers had LeBron James. But, wow, after they lost game 1, when they were playing, you know, volleyball with the ball, putting the ball in to win game 1, it went like this the rest of the way, to the point where in game 3 they even played DeMar DeRozan down the stretch of that game, which was, I mean, obviously they had a chance to win the game. You go with the team that was rolling, but still, that's kind of bizarre. And then last night, a closeout game, you lose by 35. That was incredible. But to LeBron's point, like to the point about the Cavs, so you're closing out the Toronto Raptors, looking forward to the next series, whether you're playing Boston or Philly does a miraculous thing and comes back from being down 3-0. You want to get your guys involved. So you see J.R. Smith, super hot last night, didn't miss a shot. Kyle Korver, another great game for him. Kevin Love, another great game for him. George Hill, another great. You want all your guys playing well as you go into the Eastern Conference.
Now, I got to go to the other side. I'm going to make you, I think you'll like this, I'm going to make you general manager.
Okay. Now we're talking.
You mentioned Cavs have Toronto's number.
Yeah.
Carlos, how do we go forward? What do you do with your roster and or your coach in Toronto?
The first thing I would do is see what LeBron James does this offseason.
Leaves.
Personally, because let me tell you why I say that. So if he leaves the Eastern Conference to go west, which he may or may not do, then maybe my team can come out the East now because he's playing similar to what the 90s teams went through when they played against Michael Jordan. They're playing in the LeBron James era. And it just is what it is. He's that great of a player where he's beaten teams. He beat my team with the Bulls, with D. Rose and the rest of the guys. He's beaten the other Miami teams, Indiana Pacer teams, and obviously this Raptors team 3 years in a row. They're playing in an era where they're playing against the best player in the game. So if he goes west, the Toronto Raptors look pretty good next season. But if he doesn't, maybe I break it up. Maybe I get a new coach in there. I'm not sure.
Now, with you being around the NBA the last 15 years, having a lot of intel that we necessarily don't have, are you comfortable with Dwayne Casey as your coach moving forward?
Yeah, I think he's a very good coach. I do think that one play that's still sticking out to me right now, the play where LeBron made that incredible shot off the glass that we keep replaying over and over and over and over. Why didn't you just double team him and make anybody else on the team shoot the ball? He did you a favor by bringing the ball up the court. I'm not saying that that cost him his job. I think he's a very good coach. Obviously, they had the #1 record in the Eastern Conference. But I still think, depending on what LeBron does, would depend on whether I break this whole thing up.
If LeBron stays, you can't stick with the status quo.
I agree.
Now, I think that it is so hard to impossible.
Wait, status quo being all the same
players, coach. You got to make a significant change.
Okay.
To me, that I understand why some people would say fire Dwayne Casey. I think there's too many awful coaches in the NBA to fire one that I think is actually pretty good.
He's a good coach, though.
That's my point. I think he's actually pretty good, and you're not guaranteed to get a good one.
I'm just going to tell you, I do subscribe by the theory a good coach can get fired.
Okay,
oh, yeah,
sure.
That's true.
I mean, you can win 50 games and still get fired in my book.
I understand that. I get that part of it. I would be more likely to test the trade market for DeMar DeRozan if LeBron stays in the East. But your point about LeBron dominating the East, since LeBron came back to Cleveland, they've played 11 series against the Eastern Conference. 7 have been sweeps, including sweeping the 1 seed multiple times. The first time ever a 1 seed's been swept prior to the conference finals. They're 44-8 in those 11 series against the Eastern Conference as he came back to Cleveland. If we want to expand it to when he was in Miami, when he knocked you guys out, they played 23 series against the Eastern Conference. They're 23-0. with an overall record of 92-24. Teams aren't even, it was an outlier that Indiana took them to 6 games, much less 7. So that is what you're dealing with.
And I would listen to the argument as far as the East being a little inferior if I didn't see LeBron struggle during the regular season in Miami. He struggled some during that. They weren't always the best record. It wasn't like during the regular season, oh, it's just a cakewalk, and no matter what the seeding is. We have seen him be the first seed, the second seed. This is the only time we've seen him outside of that go to the conference finals. So I understand the totality of the games. They play too many games against the East where you have seen the East have their number. Like, so him dominating in the playoffs, he steps it up, and they're not able to step it up.
No, I agree with you 100%.
So when you look at the Cavs, though, what the transformation from CC and I got into it, and it was in Game 6, it made me look silly. After they won Game 5 against Indiana, I said that could be the turning point for their season. That game winner, and then in Game 6 they get blown out.
Right.
It feels now like the turning point was actually, for me, those few minutes when LeBron had cramps in Game 7. When the other guys had no choice but to make some plays. Maybe it was just good fortune or good luck, but Kevin Love scored, I think, 6 points in that stretch. George Hill makes a shot, comes in after dealing with the back spasm, comes in, makes a couple plays. Since then, those role players have looked like as good of role players outside of having a superstar like a Kyrie or D. Wade as LeBron's had. Do you think they can keep that up moving forward in the conference finals?
I think they have to. I think that's what LeBron wants to get those guys to do because he wants to win a championship. Any given moment he could lay down and say, you know, I've done enough here. We look forward to the offseason, go work with my kids and get ready to see what I'm going to do next season. But he's fighting every game because he wants to win it. You know, he competes like he's chasing the GOAT. He's chasing greatness. He's chasing his own greatness. Yeah. So for me, he needs those other guys, the others as we call them, to play at a high level.
What do you think is best for the NBA? Where would LeBron have to go that would be you think best for the NBA?
I don't even know if he leaves. He might even stay, which I think people aren't really attracted to that option.
Most people think that's completely off the table.
I know, and he might go to L.A. That's very sexy. Go to L.A., rebuild the Lakers. Maybe they partner up with Paul George or maybe Kawhi Leonard or maybe even Boogie Cousins, who we don't talk about anymore, and revitalize the Lakers. But he might not go anywhere. They may revamp it right there in Cleveland.
One quick thing before we go on the break and let you go. You mentioned LeBron chasing the GOAT. Is that how you refer to it? Is he still chasing Michael? Has he caught up to him?
I mean, for me, he's top 3. I mean, for me, I go Michael Jordan. I think Kareem is very underrated, and I go LeBron.
He's got the top 3. They're in the wrong order, but you got.
But by the time he retires, it could be LeBron.
Don't say no.
Good
job, man.
See,
thank you so much.
Hey, Brian, book him some more. Let's get him in here.
We got to take a break. Is Joe Flacco on the hot seat in Baltimore next on First Things First?
Make sure you check out his podcast, him and Nate Robinson.
Yes, sir. So hold that podcast. Yep.
Hold that podcast.
Yeah, hold that L, Nick.
I was a C-130 mechanic in the Corps, so I'm not happy unless my hands are dirty. Between running a business and 4 kids, we're busy. Knowing that USAA will always have my back, that's just one less thing you have to worry about. We are the Cochran family, and we will be USAA members for life.
Remember your first bike? No, your first real bike. So can you imagine the feeling you'll get from your first real truck? The GMC Sierra. Step up to GMC with over 11,000 total value on a specially equipped Sierra Denali when you finance through GM Financial. We are professional grade GMC.
When it's your job to protect the world's greatest nation, it's your responsibility to solve the world's greatest challenges. This is why we search for the best and brightest, why we train for every eventuality, on land and water, in the air, space, and even cyberspace. We operate in a complex world with one simple mission: win.
Hamper yourself with 3 new decadent M&M's flavors. Crunchy raspberry, crunchy mint, and crunchy espresso. Hey, where's the espresso?
I don't know how to use this. Come on, man.
Try them all and vote for your favorite.
It took guts to start my business, but as it grew bigger and bigger, it took a whole lot more. And that's why I switched to the Spark Cash Card from Capital One. With it, I earn unlimited 2% cash back on everything I buy. Everything. What's in your wallet?
The kangaroo's pouch provides comfort and security for the little ones inside. Possibly the inspiration behind Hanes Comfort Flex Fit with a breathable pouch. That and probably this. Hanes Comfort Flex Fit.
We're here in this auto graveyard to demonstrate a remarkable car polish. New Finish, the once-a-year car polish. Simply wipe it on and just wipe it off. It's that easy. And look, New Finish restored a deep, hard shine even to this weather-beaten car. We polished this car with New Finish and ran it through 52 car washes. Even after heavy-duty detergents and powerful scrubbing, the water still beads. So get New Finish.
Available at Pep Boys, Target, Ace, O'Reilly Auto, AutoZone, Walmart, and other leading stores.
So much baseball, so little time. That's why we bring you MLB Whip Around with in-depth analysis and opinion. Tonight at 11 Eastern on FS1.
And if I mess up, I have to unwrap and do the whole thing over again. And then I'm late.
Well, with DirecTV, setting up your video on demand is a big rigmarole. I have to have an HD DVR, internet service, and then I have to install a cinema connection kit thing.
Obviously, they don't care about people.
Yeah, right? You know, you have to care about... It's my 2 o'clock.
Oh, heart attack?
No. Bear.
Complicated video on demand is evil.
Quick little bugger.
Spectrum is simple. DirecTV bad, Spectrum good.
A Buckeye in your pocket is lucky, but keeping up with demand is tough work.
So we've developed the Buck-O-Matic 2000.
It recycles lucky trinkets and concentrates their luck into super lucky Buckeyes.
I don't support this.
Ready?
Let us reap the spoils.
We'll get to Lamar Jackson in a second, but first, we got to get to LeBron James. Look at this turnaround fadeaway while falling out of bounds. Did he have to do this, Nick?
No, of course he didn't have to do this. This actually might have been a more difficult shot than the game winner he hit. Like, I think in practice, LeBron hits a higher percentage of those running one-handers than he does this shot here.
Less pressure here.
Nick, stop.
What?
Stop it. What was the score of the game at this point?
No, I'm not saying that. That's why I said in practice, when their score is 0-0 anyway. Just the degree of difficulty on the shot, not the importance of it. Come on.
All right, same game, same guy. You see the pass here to Kevin Love?
I think this is one of the most underrated things LeBron James does. Not only the variety of passes he can throw, but the velocity. When he needs to bounce it, when he needs a chest pass, when he needs to put some extra heat on the ball. He's an amazing deliverer of the basketball.
And studying different guys' shooting pockets and where they want to receive the ball, which is why guys almost always...
I don't believe he studies it, but at least he says that afterwards. I like it, though.
All right. Well,
NBA 2K. He said he was playing with the guys. Remember, to get familiar with
Yes, but that's not the shooting pocket part of it. But yes, go ahead, Jenna Wolf.
The other game last night, T.J. McConnell threading the needle to find Ben Simmons. 2 of Simmons, 19 points. How good was T.J.?
What's his name, CC?
Oh, T.J. McConnell.
There you go.
We changed
What
it
was his
last
name
night.
yesterday?
Man, he rung the bell. P.J.
He was T.J. when he wasn't playing well.
Oh, man, he gave him the spark. And I also got to give the coach, because he made a strategic move where they were getting blitzed at the three-point line by Brad Stevens, so he started driving to the bucket. So they were able to dominate points in the paint.
Listen, he's been great, but Philly fans, you got to stop calling him White Iverson. That's an insult to a lot of people.
Yes, an insult to Iverson is insult to white people. Whatever. Yeah. Jeez, stop that.
You guys want to play in or out?
I do.
All right, here we go.
I'm out on White Iverson.
Clearly.
Next one.
All right, we're up to number 2. Secondly, the Ravens drafted Lamar Jackson with the last pick of the first round. Now, according to reports, Joe Flacco has, quote, gotten the message about what that means for him and his future this season. So, CC, you in or out on Lamar Jackson being the Ravens starting quarterback by the end of the season?
This is what I do know. The Delaware Hens, they raised some smart quarterbacks. That's where Joe Flacco is. Where he went to play ball. Their nickname is the Blue Hens. Hens are smart by nature. So Joe Flacco got the message.
Thank you.
Ozzie Newsome definitely took his last first-round pick to replace Joe Flacco, and the process starts this year. He will be in the starting lineup as a starting quarterback. I'm in on it.
If Lamar Jackson doesn't start for the Ravens this year at some point, he will become the first-round pick not to start in year 1 since Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers
that's amazing stuff. What year was that?
Aaron Rodgers was that 2005? So we're talking about 13 years ago? Like, Aaron Rodgers had Brett Favre in front of him, one of the 10 greatest quarterbacks ever. I'm in. Lamar Jackson, I'm out on Joe Flacco. I'm in on Lamar Jackson, and I'm in on the history of it. I'm in.
All right, last night, the Raptors were eliminated from the playoffs by King James. In the regular season, Toronto won 59 games, most in franchise history. However, some are calling for Dwayne Casey to be fired. Nick, you in or out on the Raptors bringing back Dwayne Casey next season?
I'm in. I understand that this season ended terribly, as bad as it possibly could have ended. But you don't win 59 games, have a top 5 offense and a top 5 defense and the best bench in the league, and fire your coach. He literally might win Coach of the Year. I'm in on bringing him back.
No problem. He can pack it in the box and take it with him, because I'm out on it. Just like Mark Jackson, 2013-2014 season, where the Golden State Warriors gave him the axe. People criticized them. They brought in Steve Kerr from the front office, from the TV booth. No one knew about his talent. And now where are the Warriors? They got 2 titles. They blew another title, looking for their 3rd title. I'm out. Getting out. Tell him the Packers box, he can take the trophy with him. I'm cool with him.
All right. A friend of the show, Chris Broussard, was on the herd with our guy Colin yesterday, and Broussard said, quote, "The stage is being set for LeBron James to go to Philly as the savior this summer." CC, you in or out on LeBron going to Philadelphia next season?
I'm out. I just think that LeBron, his options, I believe that Philly is on the table, but I don't believe he will go there. And also, I do believe because of Ben Simmons and there's so much carryover to their game of where Ben is trying to go that I think management doesn't want to bring LeBron James there. So I'm out.
The other part, though, that Broussard said is LeBron is interested in, for the first time in his career, playing off the ball, playing a more traditional small forward role, that he wouldn't be as redundant with Ben Simmons in that spot. This is the best basketball option for him. I am in. He gets to stay in the Eastern Conference. He gets to continue to dominate this conference. He gets a chance to make sure Kyrie and those Celtics to make the NBA Finals, and he gets to team up with two guys that I believe are already top 20 players in this league.
That can't be a better fit than Houston with Chris Paul, 1, James Harden, 1, 2, Chris Paul, LeBron at the 3.
Houston seems to have fallen by the wayside as far as possibilities. It seems like it's Philly and LA. Houston, I know they want him. Doesn't look like LeBron's targeting them.
Yeah, let Houston lose to Golden State.
Okay. All right, we'll see. Houston be a good option as well.
All right, speaking of Houston, the Rockets have been cruising in round 2 against the Jazz. They have a chance to close out Utah at home tonight in Game 5. Nick, you in or out on the Rockets closing out the series this evening?
I'm in. Gentlemen sweep round 1 for Houston. Gentlemen sweep round 2 for Houston. They're back in Houston. They dominated Utah in the 2 games over the weekend in Utah. I'm in. This series ends tonight.
And Utah's got a couple players hurt. I mean, this is a wrap. I'm in. They're going to get them tonight, even if they were healthy. With full complement of players, the focus that Houston showed in Utah in Game 3 and 4, it showed a sense of maturity that I wanted to see from this team. Chris Paul going to his first final after tonight.
Absolutely. And 3 straight games, Houston's been bad from three-point range. I think they're going to hit them with a barrage of threes tonight.
All right, finally, we have the Warriors. They can close out their series against the Pelicans tonight. Vegas has Golden State as 11.5-point favorites, in case you guys are looking to bet that game. CC, you're out on the Warriors winning Game 5 tonight at home.
Oh, I'm in. I believe the Warriors know what's at stake. They need to get that rest. They know that potentially Houston's going to finish them off tonight. You want to stay in beat with the team you're going to face there in the West, because for the first time, Golden State will not have home court advantage. So you don't want to prolong this. You want to get as much rest as possible, get Steph off of his legs. I believe this one's going to be over with about halfway through the third quarter.
Ooh, just like Jen and I sometimes make some wagers, you and I might be able to make a wager on this, because I am out. The Warriors, when they are not dialed in, when they are not fully focused, are a team that can be lackadaisical with the basketball, or a team that can be lackadaisical defensively, and they don't have to have this game. They don't need this game. I think we saw the Pelicans when they were desperate in Game 3, how well they played. I actually think the Pelicans pull an upset. I think the Pelicans win this game and the Warriors close it out in 6, so I am out. I think the Warriors lose tonight.
All right, take a break. Coming up, do the Cowboys have enough weapons to compete for a Super Bowl? Next on First Things First.
The blade quality you'd expect from Gillette. Affordability you might not. The new Gillette 3 and Gillette